Welcome to North End Masonry. We are doing a new show called Don't Do Anything I Would Do. Sponsored by Hit and Run Insurance. No license, no problem. Dog and a pickup's all you need out here in Idaho. Because we're out in the caves. And cavemen don't have good grammar. Anyways, back to the story. We are going to do some work off of a ladder, 40-footer. Of course, we have a tile roof, so they've asked us not to stand on the roof, even though there's ways to do that. And there's really no place to bring a lift, tear up the grass. And so these are the predicaments I get myself in. And I really do mean, don't send these pictures to the insurance agent. Because there's nothing holding me up here. And because there's a blossom, or a half blossom, everything I bring off of this pulls weight. And I'm already having to make sure that my stomach clears the edge. And so it's really tricky that you pinch. When I say pinch, I mean like this. These tops of the ladder rungs, which are leaning up against a blossom that could fall in because we got the crown wash off. So, at any rate, be that as it may, we filled a 2-inch gap on all the way around these flues because they're cracked. But there's no way to break them out unless you get one of those drill tile breakers. And if you want to talk about trying to dig stuff out of this smoke shelf, it ain't going to happen in this one because it's such a small firebox. And I did drop a trowel down there, and it's not, I can't get it out, not even with a vacuum. And so I'm going to try a magnet at the end. But my point is if I can't reach, my elbows can't turn. If I can't reach the bottom of the smoke shelf, then there's only one other option, and that would be to reline it with a steel Ovoflex pipe, and then that's not going to work in the firebox. So you have to take and put an insert inside there, and so you're not going to enjoy the 2-foot leaping flames and smell of the cedar, whatever your favorite wood is to burn. I like the smell of cedar. It doesn't last long, but it smells good. Burns hot. So I like to mix cedar with almond or oak. Keep a consistency of hot with that wonderful smell. Anyways, long story short, I guess there was a bunch, five fire trucks here at one point in time. And so Idaho needs to wake up on a lot of issues. Number one, they don't enforce earthquake zone laws. And that's a sad thing. And being new here compared to everybody else, well, for 20 years I've been here now, I think it's time to come out with that. Because if they still don't do it after the last guy's retired, the head honcho down there at City Hall, what's going to happen if there's ever an earthquake and somebody dies? I don't know who's going to be responsible for the thousands of chimneys that have been worked on and nobody's enforced the earthquake zone law. They'll probably just sniper me off a chimney this high. That's what I see happening. Look at that beautiful house up there. Great range for snipers on a hill like that. I'm not paranoid. I mean, if worse comes to worse, we'll just have a bunch of chimneys to tear down and put some FH straps in them and run your 4 inspections and go across 4 rafters or 6 feet, depending on which way they run. Run the steel down on the 4 corners. Make sure you have your stirrups. Get your Z-wrap around the back wall of the fire back when you're coming up, and make sure you have an engineer come and check the soil, because that's the first inspection. And then, of course, it's got to go 2 feet higher than the closest peak within 10 feet. It's easy to do earthquake zone laws, so I don't know why nobody's enforcing it. Probably the same people, I would imagine, that when, Boise's growing fast. I don't know if you knew that. It's probably at one particular year, I remember them saying it was the fastest growing city in America. And they're still growing. So, they didn't have time to fill the desks to run the state. So they did what anybody else probably would have done, is they put people they can trust in the seats, in these desks, and they weren't qualified, but they just threw a book on the desk and said, learn as you go. But the problem with trustworthy people that are family members is you don't know if they're slothful or not. And yeah, they might show up to work and be honest, but when it comes to reading the book, the community's teaching itself how to run itself out here. That's what I'm learning. They don't have traffic court still, but I know they're supposed to, because they used a traffic court form one time on my child who was being taken to court as an adult on something when he was a juvenile. And so I asked for a public defender, because that's how you run adult court. And then they tried to say, oh no, we don't do that with juveniles. I said, well, this is adult court, so you're going to do it with him. And after a battle with that, they finally came back with a form, and they said, all right, we're going to do the public defender, but since we don't have forms for that, we're going to use these old traffic court forms, so don't mind the topic, traffic court on it. So, be that as it may, somebody's making money somewhere doing something weird. Or maybe it's not that they have blood on their hand. Maybe it's that they're just growing fast. They didn't have the qualified people to run the state, so they just put trustworthy people in there, family members, whoever. They drew a book down and said, learn as you go. Let's get this thing up and running. But they were so slothful, they didn't read. And I say that because they would have to go home and read after work. Because during the day, there's not time to do it because it's growing fast and people are training them how to run based off of the place they just moved here from. So, anyways, maybe they'll have me train everyone how to do the earthquake zone laws out here. Okay, so, yeah, I don't even know why I'm doing this video. Okay, bye.